I don't know if y'all heard, there's been a mass shooting, just a catastrophe in Grand Blanc, Michigan. It says a 40-year-old male drove into a church, it was the Church of Latter-day Saints to be exact, drove into it with a vehicle, lit a fire, and started firing upon the attendees of church. Unfortunately, they're saying 9 people injured and 1 is no longer with us. There's probably going to be more once they put the fire out. It is out apparently now, so they may find more people that suffered from that attack. The man that was driving was basically stopped by the police, and my understanding, he's no longer with us, unless I misunderstood what the news was saying. Obviously, we'll find out more in days to come. Prayers go out to the families. You know, this just shows you just never know. You know, the church is a sacred place. It should be a safe place, you know. And more these days, to me, it looks like Christians are under attack all over the world. And nobody seems to care. And in fact, I find sometimes you find people blaming them, which is crazy to me. It's crazy. It's sick to me, to be honest. Yeah, it's terrible. You know, because last week it was Charlie Kirk, and then now this. We got to pray, man. Send your prayers out to the family members of any of those people that have suffered, all those that lost. You know, we're praying for you. And local news in the UK. I understand that Nigel Farage, well, not necessarily Nigel Farage, Reform is going after indefinite leave to remain. Now, initially, indefinite leave to remain wasn't really an issue. It was a positive thing. It's how a lot of people got in the country. You have to work for 2 years, and then you have to take a test and pay like $1,000. This was years ago when I first came. Pay X amount of money, and then you can be a resident. But that affords you to collect benefits and everything. Unfortunately, a lot of people are getting that, and well, just like the local population, there's a cohort of people that will claim benefits and never really work if they're not pushed. And when you think about that, unless you're going to be a British citizen, there's something wrong there. And that seems like what Reform is actually after. You know, there's people that do the right thing, right? We know this. All the time. You know, but for someone to come to the country and not want to be a citizen and then be able to claim the benefits the same as a person from the country, that's fundamentally flawed. Because the government's job is to look after its own people initially. Because if they don't, what are their government for? That's with all these things. If you allow people to be able to abuse something, it can grow into something else and become an issue. I think their plan is, if I get it correct, is if you are going to come in and not going to be a citizen, every 5 years you have to go through a process and follow some checks and balances. I don't know what they would look like to be able to stay. It won't just be this thing where you can just remain and collect benefits, and, you know, and not actually produce anything. It seems like a common sense approach to dealing with that. On another note, they've done a YouGov poll about where we were compared to the political climate of what people voted for in 2024 to where we are now. And this YouGov poll says Reform will be in the lead, potentially gaining up to 311 seats, most of which will be taken from Labor, not conservatives. The amount that they would be taking from Labor is double that of what they'd be taking from conservatives. But is anybody surprised? I mean, basically, Keir Starmer's just firefighting. He waits till somebody moans and then he does something about it. You don't see Labor have a actual vision, and also how they respond is reactionary, not in the sense of they're listening to what the people saying and doing something about it. When something gets bad and then do something about it. And you got on the conservative end, they just keep saying, we're going to do the right thing, saying the right things, but then we go, well, y'all were in charge for 14 years and you didn't do none of that. So is it a wonder when Reform, the things they speak about are what people are most concerned about and what most people are impacted about? The end result would be they would gain votes. Let's be honest. I guess when it comes to the voters, you can't keep voting for the same thing and then expecting different results. And that's where we are with Labor and Tories right now. And reform is definitely filling that vacuum. And is that a bad thing? I mean, now people are flying the flags, the Union Jack, St. George's cross flag. I think that's all right, man. We are in the UK. And the thing when the people say it's bad and racist and all these foolish things, you know, if that was true, look at countries like Japan, for example, and China, fairly homogenous nations, right? If these people truly believed that that was a racist thing to be, then wouldn't they be hollering and screaming and lighting their hair on fire because of what the Japanese and Chinese do, not what European countries do? Because they don't let nobody in. And if you ask people that are liberal or against what policies of say Reform UK and stuff like that, they would agree that Japan should be for Japanese people and China should be for Chinese people. But when it comes to Europe and the UK and North America and Canada, they say no, you should let everybody in. Screw y'all. It's like we need a level of consistency here. And if Japan is good for Japanese, then doesn't that mean England's good for the English and France is good for the French and America's good for Americans? What is actually wrong with that, man? Doesn't inherently make you evil because of what you are. It's who you are is what determines whether or not you're a good or bad person, and what you do, not what you are. I mean, you can't help that. You know what I mean? You can't help that. That's not a crime to be born in a country that you're from, and then not be ashamed of it. That's not a crime. This world is basically becoming an idiocracy. And on that note, y'all take care.